right, we're getting ready here for the words of wisdom for the day. I'm going to mute myself on my phone on this live stream so that you can only hear me on YouTube. So if you are on here, hop on over to the words of wisdom on YouTube. And we're going to be starting here in a second. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. I don't like how backlit I am, but it's okay. We'll make do. Hi, Martin. I see you there in the chat. I hope you're doing well. You can hear me all right? We got Arnu here. There's 3 people watching. Okay, we will start. So we were just listening to the artist Bone Thugs and Harmony. And today we're talking about the tyranny of the 1st and the 15th. We talked about being a monkey in the cage versus being in the jungle in the past. But I really want to talk about undoing the chains of the rat race. Cannot say R's very well, so forgive me. But I want to talk about undoing the chains of the rat race. And really what it all comes down to is understanding what dominates all of human life. And the vast majority of human life is dominated by one thing, and that is finances. Like, you achieve power, you achieve most things that you want in life if you have finances, which is unfortunate because that doesn't really show much value outside of the problems that you can solve and the size of the problems you can solve, not necessarily the type of person you are. So in some ways it is unfair, but also at the same time, the world is very fair. And so you have to figure out if you are a worthwhile person, a man or a woman on the rise, you have to figure out how to really be successful in finances. The 1st and the 15th of the month. Most people are captives to it, where they're okay with waiting around for a zookeeper to come in and put food in their cage on the 1st and the 15th. And they want things to come to them, right? That's why we go to colleges versus seeking out education on our own, even though everything is available online, because we like that streamlined feel. And we know that the jungle would be a little bit harder, but we would be happier, but we're okay with being a salary slave. So I talk about that a lot. And I really just want to talk about how to get away from tyranny. You need to understand it better. Every person wants to rise above the crowd. This is just like a human instinct. But you need to understand efficiencies and how to create income that is not going to occur just one time, right? So if you invest in an asset, let's just say, okay, I have a friend that owns a bounce house, and she rents it out to kids' birthday parties, and she's invested in that bounce house once, and maybe it cost her a few $1,000s, but she rents it out for $250 a day, and it's rented out a couple days out of the week. Like, it's a one-time purchase, but it makes her income constantly, and maybe she's making $30,000 a year off of this couple $1,000 investment. It's a pretty big deal. Your income has to move into the 1st and the 15th clockwork because you want consistency, right? So like, seasonal income is really tough, even for entrepreneurs who understand how to make things work and how to make things stretch. Seasonal income is not the easiest. So you want to still have the consistency, but then like, you are the person that finds the food and you create your own resources. How finances should flow would be regularly, like clockwork, and in an abundance more than your bills. Like I always told my clients, being a financial advisor, I would always tell my clients, like, bare minimum, you have to save 20% of your income just to be like successful, just to be average, just to be middle class. Because worst case scenario, or best case scenario, you're just doing barely enough. I say that financially secure people save like 30%, and financially successful people save at least 40%. That's a lot, right? So you should have an abundance more than your bills. The old rule to money: take what you want, but I would say that you have to make sacrifices now. Live like no one now so you can live like no one later. Drive a $2,000 car right now so you can drive a $200,000 car in 10 years, because compound interest definitely exists. You need to have an investor or an entrepreneurial mindset. Begin to change your habits. So there's been a lot of studies, and in the United States, anybody that makes less than $70,000 a year is living in a little bit of a scarcity mindset, right? You have to pick and choose what you're putting your money towards if you make less than $70,000 a year. If you make between $70,000 and $150,000, you've achieved financial independence. So your bills are not really a significant part of your income. You have a lot of extra stuff, and then you can make a lot of decisions on what you want to put that towards. And then 150 to like $1 million, you're in a prosperity stage where you, like, almost every amount of money you're making, you consider it being going towards something that's going to be growing, right? The rich become richer, and that's like a truth, because they understand the mindset of prosperity. And once they get to the prosperity point, then you have this mindset where like everything is going towards something important. And then anything beyond that is just wealth impact. So you're really just scaling. Begin to change your habits. Take advantage of the new rules of money. Money hasn't always worked the same way. And now is like the best time financially to live. Like, I know it sucks. Like in the last couple of years, the cost of living has gone up a lot. Our dollars don't go as far, right? But we're still in the best time in all of human history to live. Like the last 50 years, this is the best. And it's a time of opportunities. We're growing at a faster pace than ever before. Technology is growing. Our tools are growing. The media tells us a lot of things about the economy that isn't true, right? The top economists are lying to us in a lot of different ways. There's more opportunities than have ever existed in human history. People like to look at the negative. People like to portray the negative in the media because that's what sells. But with technology growing as fast as it is, with AI growing as fast as it is, there's more opportunities now than ever before. There was a time a couple weeks ago when I woke up in the middle of the night and I said, there are so many opportunities in life. How do I even sleep? That was like the craziest thing to say. And I don't think most people think that way. More people need to think that way. So put away nice things now for the future. Understand compound interest. A little bit of investing now means a lot more later on versus a large amount later on, meaning a smaller amount later on, right? If you invest $10 now versus $100 in 5 years from now, the $10 now is going to mean way more. Time value is super important. The investor takes control of their lives. Times have changed. You do not need to live under the same tyranny. You can take back that power and be an investor and entrepreneur. These kinds of people change the world. They innovate their way out of problems. They solve small problems, which in turn solve larger problems. There's an old Amish saying that my parents tell me all the time. If you have something hard to do and you don't know what to do, just jump right in, and then before you know it, you're halfway done. So questions for today are, in what ways have you been under the tyranny of the 1st and the 15th in terms of expenses, right? Are you subjected to unnecessarily subscriptions or certain bills that you can somehow get rid of in your life to be a more investor mindset, lower your monthly cost of living and your regular expenses? In what ways have you adopted the mentality of past ways of making money, i.e., the 9-to-5 corporate job? And what is something tangible that you can do immediately to start becoming an investor or entrepreneur? Think of creativity coupled with investments. When are you going to invest in yourself versus making somebody else rich? That's all for today for the words of wisdom. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about 1,000 sheep and not doing it small. Thank you.